Hello, I'm Rojiru, and this is my video review for Tales of Maj'Eyal, an open-source roguelike dungeon crawler. That is a mouthful, but it doesn't begin to describe the depth of this game. But you should know that even though it's deep, it never feels like you're in over your head, like you're starting up Dwarf Fortress for the first time. If you've heard of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, Dungeons of Dreadmore, or other titles like that, then Tales of Maj'Eyal, or Tome for short, won't be too exotic. To me, and I guess everybody, Tome is a game that stems from Rogue, that old ASCII game with permanent death, endless replayability, and terrible graphics. Tome sets the bar higher than even the graphical roguelike successors of Dungeons of Dreadmore in all of those aspects. It adds in a deep RPG element, such as choosing your class, race, statistical improvements on level up, and class-based abilities. The game is littered with loot, random drops of varying rarities, and even a few unique items that can show up from run to run. There's also a progression system in the area of unlocks, from unlocking new classes, races, and even a semi-permanent fort of sorts as you progress to a certain point in the game, but I'm not going to spoil that for you if you haven't experienced it. Tome is filled to the brim with its own lore and backstory. Playing through the game, you'll come across scrolls, quests, and NPCs that make Tome come to life in a way I haven't experienced in any other roguelike, and I've played a few of them. I'd like to give you a short impression of this game, taking you through character creation and the first dungeon I'll be starting out in. Let's continue on to that. And here we've loaded up on the starting screen, the main menu, so to speak. You can see here that at the bottom of our main menu hub, our button here, you can log in with Steam. The game is available on Steam for I think $7, but it is totally free on their website at te4.org. I will just be starting up a new game here to show you some character creation. You can read a little bit about the lore here at the start of the game. Basically, the spell blaze destroyed the world, land is healing itself, and civilizations have been formed. And then you get a little read-through of the Elven Kingdoms, dwarves, mages, and anti-magic. That's kind of a big theme of the game. Anyway, lore will come a little bit later. You can see the loading screen here says Tales of Maj'Eyal, if you've noticed it. The new expansion pack loading screen, anyway. And I will be going into another review for the expansion pack after the base game review is done. But character creation. It's fairly standard. You can select your race here on the left. Once you've unlocked certain races, you can select those as well. For instance, I believe Yeek, the Undead, an elf class here at the bottom. That one's new in the expansion, I believe, some sort of demon-based elf. And for our purposes, I'll just be showing you the basic character creation, and you can't get any more basic than the human. Kornaks are the basic human. They have no stat modifiers whatsoever, 0 strength, magic, willpower, nothing's modified whatsoever. They do gain an extra talent category, so it follows that same trope of humans being masters of none, jacks of all trades, etc., etc. And you don't get an experience penalty, which is quite significant. You can level up your characters a little more quickly, but you won't have those extra stat modifiers to start off with. Other races, such as the elves, get a fairly significant experience penalty, and that can really hamper your leveling as you progress down the game. You can right-click on your name tab here to randomly assign a new name for your character based on, as it says on the right, your race and sex. So we will be a male Kornak, giving us the random name of Assel. All right. Assel, the Kornak Bulwark. The Bulwark is a sword and shield type character. He gets +5 strength, dexterity, 2 to dexterity, 2 to constitution, and 2 life per level. So yeah, sword and board type human fighter. I think that's a pretty good standard character just to show off some of the introductory things. Click the play button here and generate the level. You start up the game on your level up tab, essentially. Every time you level up, you can open up this tab by pressing P, I believe, by default, or you can also click this graphical, this part of the HUD here, the 2 upward-facing triangles stacked on top of each other. Brings you right back to this page as well. Most of the HUD elements can be clicked on and used that way. For instance, you can either assign these buttons here at the bottom to keys, or you can click on them. For instance, this is my infusion rune. Runes are another aspect of the game that we can get into at a later point, and it'll work just as well as if I'd hit the hotkey. Anyway, back to the level up screen. Any race/class combination that you pick will be different. Well, if you choose the same one over and over again, they won't be different, but you get what I'm saying. If you've chosen the Cornac, you will have no unique generic points, generic categories, I suppose. But if you'd chosen something like the higher race of humans or one of the elves, they all get new categories in their generic branches. Right now we get conditioning, survival, and combat training, and I think those are normal to just about everybody. Every class has access to these for the most part. Fighter, like it breaks down into different categories. Like fighters, they'll get tough technique / conditioning. Mages will get things to augment their mage abilities, and they're just very, very generic. They're based on the category of class, not so much the class themselves. Certain classes, however, do get their own generic categories, but that's more in-depth than we're going to get into for this video. Our sword and board character, the Bulwark, he gets a few of his own class-specific abilities, class-specific categories. And like I said, because we have chosen the very normal, run-of-the-mill Cornac human, we get an extra category point to assign at level 1. If you assign it to a category that you've already unlocked, it just gives you an extra multiplier. So 1.3 will become 1.5. That'll be 1.5 times more effective than just if you haven't leveled that category up whatsoever. Say you've learned a new category somewhere down the game for fighting with staves or maces or something like that. I don't even know if maces are available. But yeah, you just become slightly better at it if you assign that category point. If you don't want to do that, if you have the requisite level to unlock a new category, say you need level 0 to get the first level in Death Dance, the two-handed weapons category. You can go ahead and unlock that. It's 0.10% less effective because you don't have any specific training in it. You're a sword and board type character. You don't want to be using two-handed weapons, but you can unlock it. You can pretty much choose the way that you want to play the game based on which of these that you unlock. To start with, we can assign 2 class points. I'm going to put a point in Quick Recovery, which will allow us to regenerate stamina faster, even in combat. It is a passive skill, so you don't have to activate it at any time. It's just always available after you've leveled it up. And Rush, which will allow us to rush from a range of 6 tiles away, with a cooldown of 34 turns. Yes, this is a turn-based game, if I hadn't mentioned that. Pop a couple points in strength there. And level up Vitality. Faster recovery from poisons, diseases, and wounds, reducing the duration of those. If your life falls below 50%, you heal for a base of 13.4 plus 1% of your maximum life. And these effects go up every time that you level up the skill Vitality. You can see the darker green modifier that indicates what you will receive on the next talent level update or upgrade. But anyway, we have leveled up our Bulwark here, and I'm going to be taking you through the first part of this game, the very first starting zone that you start out as a Cornac Bulwark. As I said before, it is a tile-based game, so every time you use, well, I'm using the keypad now, you can move diagonally, up, down, left, right, and moving into an enemy, it will automatically attack them. So I've just moved south into this wolf here. It is a level 1 creature. It has 32 HP, 63% of its maximum. And, you know, usually it's not the best idea to just walk into enemies over and over again. You've got all these special abilities. As a Bulwark, these are more defensive, but our Shield Pummel here allows us to do 2 strikes, doing 136% shield damage and 166% shield damage on each of those strikes. If it hits twice, then it stuns the target for 2 turns. So yeah, you just don't want to walk into enemies all the time. You want to start using your abilities. Our shield wall will increase our defense, of course. Block will block all physical damage. So, yeah, let's try and be a little defensive, not get murdered by wolves here. And yes, of course, while it is on cooldown, I will be walking into enemies. That's pretty much all I can do while it's on cooldown, right? So, we've wiped out this starting area here. The Fog of War is omnipresent anywhere that you don't have vision. There are items and abilities that will allow you to reduce the effect of the Fog of War, allowing you to see into it if you can't currently. And yeah, we've just picked up a copper ring. You can see in the chat log there, it doesn't have any special modifiers, so putting it on would be quite useless, but we can hold on to it, and at the end of the level, I think if you have to unlock this as you go on later in the game, the fort that I was telling you about, and I'm trying not to spoil, you get an item called a transmogrification chest, so at the end of the level, you can automatically turn items that you don't want into gold. So we're just moving around here, trying to explore the wilderness here, find all the enemies that you can. It's very important to try and clear out an entire level, because the more experience you get, the stronger you are, and the better chance you'll have at defeating enemies at higher levels of the game. We've just picked up an enveloping linen cloak. It'll give us 6 defense if we wear it, so I'll just press I on my keyboard here, and go to... Oh, we haven't actually picked it up yet. Didn't we? I'm just blind. I'll find it. There we go. So we have the useless copper ring that I told you. It can have magical properties, currently doesn't. This is a common tier, or uncommon tier, I suppose, level of item. It gives us 6 defense and +5 physical saves. Physical saves are important when trying to save against things like stuns or dazes, things like that. Things that would affect you physically. Very D&D-like. So we're just going to put that on, and on our character icon here, since we have not chosen a custom icon from our donator pack, I think I donated $5 about 2 years ago. It's really worth it. It's a great game, but like I said, you can get it for free. Yes, that'll give us 6 defense. Be a little helpful here. We are stacking up the defense on an already defensive character. Can't go wrong with that. Now, if things are a little bit too slow, you don't want to explore tile by tile, you can, of course, use the Auto-Explore key, which I think by default is Z. It'll zip you around the map, exploring everything that you haven't seen yet, and stopping you when you run into enemies, when you first spot them. They might actually be off your screen when you first spot them, so just make sure to pay attention to your chat log. It'll tell you if you've spotted something. We've just picked up another rune, the Regeneration Infusion of the Psychic. Of the Psychic, or of the Warrior, or of the Mage, those are modifiers. For instance, this rune scales with your willpower stat, so of the Psychic. If I'd picked up one that was of the Warrior, it would scale with my strength stat. Using this rune will give you 159 life over 5 turns. And you can move it to your normal inventory. That was currently in my transmogrification chest. And after moving it to a normal inventory, it can't be used from the chest, you can inscribe it onto your skin, basically, allowing you to use it as a normal skill until you replace it with another rune. Let's continue to auto-explore here. Found some midge swarms, easily dispatched. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You might not be able to see the wolf on the screen, but your character can see it. Rested for 0 turns and stopped because we spotted a wolf to the north. And there he is. Shield bash him there, put him off balance, stunned him, and killed him. And he's dead. And we've just auto-explored to the end of the level. I think that's going to be it for this first part of the Tales of Maj'Eyal series, if it becomes a series, if you guys enjoy it. I will be going into another review, going over the changes to the new expansion. But for now, I have been Rojiru. If you liked this video, if you'd like to see more videos of its kind, or other videos that you might have already seen on my channel, those type of genres, please consider liking this video and hitting subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. I have been Rojiru. Thank you so much for watching.